Nordic, where nature tells its own story. Towering mountains, sculpted by ancient glaciers over millennia, rise like frozen cathedrals into the sky. Deep, winding fjords, carved by the patient hands of time, mirror the skies and reflect the fleeting light of this northern realm. Overhead, the northern lights dance across the heavens, whispering ancient legends of forgotten gods. Frozen lakes glint under the ethereal glow, and icy landscapes stretch as far as the eye can see. Storm-sculpted cliffs rise from black sands, while ocean waves crash and echo the wild song of the north. Beneath the vast glaciers, dormant volcanoes breathe silently, erupting in Iceland, while ships cut through the icy waters of Svalbard, and frozen landscapes stretch as far as the eye can see. A striking reminder of the fire and ice that shaped the north. Along these epic landscapes, Viking villages stand as silent witnesses to a fierce and storied past. In this chapter of our travel documentary series, we will explore the Nordic countries: Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Iceland, uncovering their legendary landscapes and the enduring spirit of the North. And so, our journey into the North begins. Where the North Sea meets Denmark's dunes, the land seems to breathe with the wind. Ribe, Denmark's oldest town, rises in aerial splendor. Cobblestone lanes winding past medieval towers, and a cathedral that has watched over centuries of Viking tales. It was here, in the wind-swept lands of Jutland, that legends of Ragnar Lothbrok and the early sea kings were born. Ribe fades into the vast wetlands of Wadensee National Park, a tidal world alive with seals and migratory birds, where shifting sands paint new coastlines every day. The island of Fanø greets the wind with rolling dunes and endless beaches, a quiet refuge for beachcombers and kite surfers. The Blåvand Lighthouse stands tall in the sea mist, its beam sweeping over old bunkers and shores reshaped by time. Around Vidasanda, fishing boats rest in calm harbors, while cyclists follow trails through sunlit dunes and whispering grass. The Lyngvig Lighthouse, perched high on the dunes near Vidasanda, rises as one of Denmark's tallest beacons, guiding ships along the wild North Sea coast. Aarhus unfolds as a city of contrasts. Its old quarter lined with timbered houses, narrow alleys, and canals that whisper stories of merchants and sailors. Nearby, sleek, modern architecture and glass facades reflect a forward-looking Denmark, where design and creativity shape everyday life. The Aarhus Art Museum's rainbow panorama crowns the skyline, while the streets below pulse with food, music, and stories rooted in Viking heritage. Brøndby Havby adds a tranquil village note, a circle of pastel homes and tree-lined paths reflecting everyday Danish life. Built in the 1960s as one of Denmark's first modern garden towns, it was designed to combine affordable housing with green communal spaces. Ringkøbing Fjord runs alongside traditional Danish villages, with calm waters, reed islands, and surrounding farmland, reflecting the region's rural landscape and local way of life. Mols Bjerge National Park unfolds through rugged hills and coastal forests, a paradise for hikers and dreamers. Around Silkeborg, shimmering lakes reflect the surrounding forests and open skies, leading toward hidden Iron Age ruins and tranquil natural spots. Himmelbjerget, the Sky Mountain, rises through a sea of forest, wrapped in legends and midsummer fires. Aalborg blends innovation and tradition, with its redeveloped waterfront, the bold lines of Musikkens Hus, and lively quaysides filled with street art and cozy cafes. Copenhagen, Denmark's vibrant capital with a population of around 800,000, blends centuries of history with modern urban life. Founded in the 10th century as a Viking fishing village, it evolved into a political, cultural, and economic hub of Scandinavia, its streets and canals reflecting layers of history. Nyhavn's pastel facades line the historic canal, glowing in morning light as small boats rock gently on the water. Cafes and restaurants hum with life, while the scent of fresh pastries and the clink of coffee cups add to the city's daily rhythm. Amalienborg Palace, the royal residence of the Danish monarchy, stands as a neoclassical masterpiece where the changing of the guard unfolds in ceremonial precision, offering a glimpse into centuries-old royal traditions. Frederick's Church, known as the Marble Church, rises majestically with its green copper dome, dominating the skyline and symbolizing Baroque grandeur. At Kongens Nytorv, Copenhagen's central square, elegant 17th century buildings frame the open space, with sculptures, historic facades, and luxury cafes reflecting the city's mix of history and modernity. Amager Bakke, a modern marvel, transforms waste into energy and features a ski slope on its roof, demonstrating Copenhagen's innovative approach to sustainability. The Kastellet, a well-preserved star-shaped citadel, stands as one of Northern Europe's finest examples of military architecture. Built in the 17th century to defend Copenhagen, its bastions, ramparts, and surrounding canals reflect both strategic ingenuity and the city's historical conflicts. Within its green inner grounds, windmills and historic buildings tell stories of centuries past, offering a serene contrast to the bustling urban surroundings. Rosenborg Castle, nestled in the heart of the city, houses Denmark's crown jewels within its Renaissance towers, surrounded by the meticulously manicured King's Garden, a symbol of royal prestige and heritage. A short journey north leads to Frederiksborg Castle in Hillerød, a lakeside Renaissance palace with grand halls, frescoed ceilings, and Baroque gardens, a museum preserving Denmark's royal and cultural history. Kronborg Castle in Helsingør stands above the Øresund Strait, immortalized as Shakespeare's Elsinore, where Hamlet's ghost still seems to wander the ramparts. As the day fades, Copenhagen glows in the warm hues of sunset. The city lights shimmer at night along canals, squares, and streets, creating an intimate, cinematic portrait of urban life. The Øresund Bridge arcs gracefully over the strait, linking Denmark to Sweden, a symbol of modern engineering and Nordic connection, illuminated under twilight as traffic flows between the two nations. Stevens and Mønsklint's white chalk cliffs face the sea, their fossil-rich surfaces and forested paths telling Denmark's ancient geological story. As the boat nears Bornholm, the island's rugged coastline comes into view, shaped by centuries of wind and waves. Bornholm spreads out with granite headlands, pine forests, and secluded coves, a tranquil refuge in the Baltic Sea. At the northern cliffs, Hammershus Castle rises from the rocks, Northern Europe's largest medieval fortress, standing guard over the coast and echoing centuries of history. North Jutland stretches ahead, where Frederikshavn welcomes travelers to the northern seas. Just beyond, the shifting sands of Rubjerg cradle a half-buried lighthouse, a silent sentinel over Denmark's restless coast. At Skagen's Grenen, Denmark's northern tip, The North and Baltic Seas collide in an endless dance of waves beneath a painterly sky. The light here feels eternal, a fitting symbol of the enduring spirit of the North. Once the heart of Viking seafarers, Denmark fades behind us as we cross the Skagerrak Strait, entering Norway, a land carved by ice, sea, and silence. Between Denmark and southern Norway lies the Kattegat Sea, a historic waterway that also touches the Swedish coast, linking cities like Fredrikshavn, Gothenburg, and Halmstad, where traders once sailed and Viking legends still echo. Beyond these northern waters, the fjords of western Norway unfold, vast mirrors reflecting snow-dusted mountains, tumbling waterfalls, and coastal towns where the sea meets the cliffs in breathtaking harmony. The coastal town of Stavanger awakens to the sound of the sea, cobblestone streets glistening in the dawn. Colorful wooden houses line the harbor, fishing boats rocking gently against the piers as gulls circle above. From the old town to the open water, the scent of salt and pine drifts through narrow alleys, carrying the rhythm of a city shaped by the ocean. From here, the road winds toward Lysefjord, where early morning light drifts over Preikestolen, softening the jagged cliffs that plunge into the deep blue below. Rising more than 600 meters above the fjord, this sheer rock plateau feels suspended between earth and sky, a natural pulpit overlooking a vast, silent world. It has become one of Norway's most beloved landmarks, drawing travelers from across the globe to stand upon its edge and feel the wind of eternity. At the fjord's mouth, the Lysefjord Bridge spans between towering cliffs, a graceful link between the rugged coast and Norway's wild interior. As the fjord narrows, sheer cliffs rise ever steeper, guiding the way to the tiny village of Lysebotn, hidden at the very end of the waterway. Above it towers Kjerag, its summit wrapped in drifting clouds. Here, the legendary Kjeragbolten rests, a massive boulder wedged between two cliffs, nearly 1,000 meters above the fjord, daring the brave to step upon it and look into the abyss below. The winding Lysefjord Road, with its 27 sharp hairpin turns, climbs from Lysebotn to the high plateau, a serpent of asphalt tracing the mountainside, revealing each bend as a new horizon. Further north, Hardangerfjord winds between steep cliffs and orchard-covered slopes, its waters reflecting the soft morning light. The Hardanger Bridge spans 1,380 meters across the fjord near its mouth, with its main cable-stayed section rising 55 meters above the water, connecting the coastal roads while revealing the orchards and cliffs along the fjord. Mist begins to rise along the riverbank, softening the rocks and trees, as a narrow road follows the river toward Lofoten. As the falls come into view, twin streams descend roughly 165 meters from the mountainside, splitting as they rush into the river below. The village of Ada lies nestled among the mountains, its wooden houses and narrow streets reflecting traditional Norwegian architecture. Once an important center for hydropower and industry, the town now serves as a gateway for travelers exploring the fjords, and as a popular starting point for hikes to Trolltunga and surrounding peaks. Rising about 700 meters above the fjord, Trolltunga juts horizontally from the mountainside, with the surrounding peaks and waters stretching into view. The trail winds for about 10 to 12 kilometers above Ringedalsvatnet, making it a popular destination for hikers and photographers alike. Kinsarvik, located near Ada, sits where rivers from the Hardangervidda Plateau meet the fjord, its wooden houses and surrounding greenery, framed by cliffs and serving as a quiet base for exploring nearby waterfalls and hiking trails. The rivers feed the 4 waterfalls of Husdalen Valley, their constant roar echoing through the narrow canyons. Veringsfossen plunges 182 meters from the plateau, sending a veil of mist into the air as the water strikes the rocks below, a dramatic reminder of the fjord's raw power. Røldal, high in the mountains, turns into a haven for skiers and adventurers, where calm alpine lakes and snow-covered slopes meet beneath shifting clouds. Between the vast arms of Sognefjord, cliffs rise straight from the water, their reflections trembling on the still surface. Along its shores, quiet villages cling to the water's edge, surrounded by green meadows and snow-tipped peaks. Among its many branches, Nyhavn is the most dramatic, narrow, steep, and hauntingly quiet. Listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it feels like a passage carved by time itself, where mountains close in until the sky becomes a thin ribbon of light. Along the shores of Aarlandsfjord lies the tranquil village of Aarland, home to centuries-old farms and traditional Norwegian wooden architecture. From here, the road leads to Flåm, one of Norway's most visited fjord towns, where the railway climbs through tunnels and steep valleys, a masterpiece of early 20th century engineering that reveals the hidden heart of the mountains. Bergen, Norway's second largest city, sits where mountains meet the sea. This historic city has long connected coastal communities through trade routes and cultural exchanges, shaping Norway's maritime heritage. The fjords and islands around the city provide striking views and attract visitors throughout the year. At the heart of the city, Bergen's colorful wooden houses, relics of the Hanseatic League, line the harbor. Narrow cobblestone streets wind between historic facades, and in winter, snow-dusted rooftops and frost-touched waters create a serene scene. The bustling harbor hums with local life and seasonal festivals, while mountains rise behind, framing the city against a dramatic backdrop. Just over 1.5 hours drive from Bergen, Steinsdalsfossen waterfall cascades over a rocky ledge, a hidden gem offering stunning views of Norway's natural beauty. At Vestkapp, Norway's westernmost cliffs drop sharply into the Atlantic. Waves smash against jagged rocks, the horizon stretching endlessly, a raw demonstration of the sea's power. Nordfjord opens into a landscape of rivers and valleys. Stryn lies at the entrance, its waterways winding gently through green fields beneath distant glaciers. Olden rests beside the turquoise waters of Oldevatnet Lake, reflecting the surrounding peaks. Briksdalsbreen Glacier, a bright arm of Jostedalsbreen, descends toward the valley, shaping the land with slow, eternal movements. Loen lies at the edge of Lofoten Lake, surrounded by sheer mountains and mirrored waters that shift with the light. Wooden cottages stand between green meadows in the deep blue of the lake, where silence carries the echo of distant waterfalls. From here, icy streams descend from Jendalsbreen Glacier, one of the glittering arms of Jostedalsbreen National Park, Europe's largest glacier, whose frozen ridges feed countless rivers and valleys across western Norway. The journey climbs inland into alpine tundra, where Jotunheimen National Park rises in quiet grandeur. The highest peaks of Norway tower over still lakes, glaciers, and rocky ridges. Crossing Sonafjella Pass, Northern Europe's highest mountain road. Snow drifts line the asphalt even in summer. The wind, the only sound across the plateau. Romsdalsfjord, one of Western Norway's most striking fjords, stretches deep into a dramatic valley framed by steep mountains, with the town of Åndalsnes resting at its heart. Trolltunga, the Troll's Path, climbs steeply into the Rauma Highlands, its 11 sharp hairpin turns cutting through sheer cliffs and rising over 850 meters above sea level. The road's name evokes the legends of mountain trolls, still hinted at by carved signs along the route. Stigrora offers a breathtaking viewpoint perched on the cliffs, where Åndalsnes lies beside the fjord, rivers glinting under the sunlight, and distant peaks drift in and out of clouds. Stigfossen waterfall crashes nearly 320 meters beside the road, its mist sweeping over the bridge before vanishing into the valley, a dramatic harmony of water, stone, and sound. Beyond the road, Romsdal's valleys stretch wide, a mosaic of forests, rivers, and meadows. Eiksdalsvatnet Lake lies tranquil not far off, its calm surface punctuated by Mardalsfossen, one of Norway's tallest waterfalls, cascading over 650 meters into the gorge, a spectacle that dominates the surrounding wilderness. Nestled east of Romsdalsfjord, Geirangerfjord stretches quietly between the dramatic peaks of the Romsdal Alps. Its narrow waters are framed by steep cliffs and scattered alpine villages, a hidden corner of western Norway that feels untouched by time. Geirangerfjord, western Norway's crown jewel, winds through steep mountains whose slopes are dotted with alpine lakes, farms, and lush pastures. The valley itself holds a quiet, almost untouched atmosphere, where cascading rivers and dense forests add to the fjord's dramatic scenery. The village of Geiranger rests at the fjord's head, embraced by steep cliffs and green pastures. Just above, Ørnesvingen Viewpoint offers sweeping views of the fjord and surrounding valley. The Seven Sisters waterfall tumbles down the mountainside in silver streams, spilling gracefully into the fjord and catching the sunlight in sparkling shards. The highlands of the Geiranger region hold several mountain lakes. From Djupvatnet, the road leads to the iconic Dalsnibba viewpoint, with panoramic views of Geiranger and the surrounding fjord. Norangsdalen Valley, just beyond Geiranger, offers a quiet retreat amid the mountains. Its secluded forests and serene lakes create a peaceful contrast to the fjord's dramatic cliffs, making it a hidden gem for those seeking calm in western Norway's rugged landscape. Ålesund, at the northern edge of the fjord region, shines with Art Nouveau elegance. Rebuilt after the fire of 1904, the city's pastel facades and harbor blend history with the fjords, connecting the coastal region to Norway's northern reaches. As the dramatic fjords fade into gentler landscapes, the mountains give way to rolling forests and calm coastlines, the beginning of South Norway. Oslo, Norway's capital and largest city, sits at the head of the Oslofjord, surrounded by forests and rolling hills. Home to nearly 700,000 people, it serves as the country's political, cultural, and economic center. Founded around the year 1000 and later rebuilt by King Christian IV, the city blends medieval heritage with sleek Scandinavian design. Landmarks such as Akershus Fortress, the Royal Palace, and the Oslo Opera House trace its evolution from Viking trading post to modern European capital, a place where Norway's history and innovation meet. Beyond the city, visitors can experience Norway's traditional culture at the Norsk Folkemuseum and Hadeland Folkemuseum, where historic buildings and exhibits reflect the country's rural heritage. Nearby villages showcase everyday rural life, with charming farmhouses, forests, and tranquil landscapes that bring Norway's countryside to life. Kristiansand stretches along sandy shores, its lively harbor lined with colorful houses. Gentle waves lap at the coast, a quiet rhythm of seaside life. Lindesnes Lighthouse marks Norway's southernmost point, perched on cliffs carved by Atlantic storms. The rugged coast hums with maritime energy, a beacon against the endless sea. Telemark, often called the heart of traditional Norway, is renowned for its stunning natural landscapes. Deep valleys, rolling forests, rivers, lakes, and cascading waterfalls create breathtaking scenery. The region is also home to historic architecture, including stave churches and traditional wooden buildings that highlight Norway's rich cultural heritage. At the center of Telemark lies the Telemark Canal, a 105-kilometer-long waterway linking lakes and rivers through a series of locks, an engineering marvel completed in the late 19th century. The surrounding towns and villages, such as Rjukan, Notodden, and Skagen, showcase local life, blending industrial heritage with natural beauty. Visitors can experience traditional Norwegian culture in these settlements, where historic buildings, waterways, and community life come together. Heading southward to Kragerø, the landscape opens up to coastal islands, charming harbors, and calm waters, highlighting the region's scenic beauty. In winter, the town and its surroundings are covered in snow, with frozen shores and quiet streets. Trondheim, once the ancient capital of Norway, rests along the Trondheimsfjord, a city where history and youth coexist. The city features cobblestone streets, colorful wooden houses, and small bridges crossing the river. The Grand Nidaros Cathedral rises at the city center, a symbol of Trondheim's spiritual heritage. Farther inland, Røros rises from the highlands like a living museum. Once a mining settlement, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Narrow lanes, wooden facades, and a gentle snowfall turn it into a fairy tale scene, showcasing Norway's old soul still breathing in the mountains. Beyond the valleys, the road climbs toward Dovrefjell National Park, home to the ancient musk oxen, survivors from the Ice Age. These powerful animals, with their thick coats and curved horns, graze across the alpine plateaus, perfectly adapted to the harsh mountain environment. In winter, the mountains are blanketed in snow, and the night sky comes alive with the dancing northern lights. Between the peaks of Romsdalen, the hidden valley of Innerdalen lies quietly, a secret shaped by nature. Streams and small lakes flow through alpine meadows, reflecting the surrounding mountains and scattered wooden cabins. This untouched paradise, often called Norway's most beautiful valley, embodies the serene, timeless spirit of the mountains. As the journey moves from central Norway toward the north, it reaches one of the country's most remarkable roads, the Atlantic Ocean Road. Stretching over 8 kilometers, it connects a series of small islands between Molde and Kristiansand. Bridges leap from island to island above the restless sea, linking land and horizon in a breathtaking dance of engineering and nature. Leaving central Norway behind, the road winds toward Molde, where the last calm fjords of the west meet the rising landscapes of the north. Known as the Town of Roses, Molde charms with its colorful gardens, coastal promenades, and sweeping views across the Romsdal Alps. Hinnøya, Norway's largest island, greets the Arctic with mountains rising from deep fjords. Its wilderness is shaped by alpine lakes, misty valleys, and roaming reindeer, a quiet world where nature still moves at its own rhythm. Senja stretches across the northern coast, a landscape of sharp ridges and quiet fjords, largely untouched by crowds. Its peaks pierce the drifting clouds, shaping a terrain both wild and serene. From the summit of Segla, the view opens across ridges and the calm northern sea. Below, Mefjord lies between the mountains, its waters smooth and reflective. Along the coast, waves lap against Ersfjord Beach, where the raw Arctic beauty meets a moment of quiet. Lofoten lies far in the north, a chain of islands shaped by wind, water, and time. The main town, Svalbard, is the region's heart of daily life, a small harbor town surrounded by calm seas and distant peaks. Long bridges stretch across narrow straits, linking the islands like silver threads, leading travelers toward villages framed by the open ocean. Along the coast stand old fishing settlements, such as Henningsvær, Nusfjord, and Hamnøy, known for their red cabins and peaceful harbors. The scent of salt and wood fills the air as boats glide slowly between the docks. At the center of it all lies Rein, often called the soul of Lofoten, a village where wooden houses rest beside still water, surrounded by mountains that shape its horizon. In winter, snow settles over the rooftops and harbors, and faint green lights move across the night sky. A calm, endless world where the sea never truly sleeps. Tromsø sits along the fjord in Norway's northern reaches. The city center includes the main harbor, surrounding streets, and several neighborhoods with wooden residential buildings and modern structures lining the waterfront. Bridges cross the channels, linking the harbor to adjacent districts. The Arctic Cathedral, built in 1965, serves as a landmark of modern Norwegian architecture. Reindeer are an integral part of Sami culture in northern Norway, traditionally herded for meat, hides, and transportation. Around Tromsø, these animals roam the tundra and forest near human settlements, illustrating the coexistence of traditional livelihoods and modern life. Alta appears as we move into the far north, its snow-covered streets glowing under the northern lights. Honningsvåg serves as the region's main cruise port, handling seasonal ship traffic and supporting voyages toward the North Cape. A snow-lined road climbs to the North Cape. At the cliff top, the Globe Monument marks Europe's northernmost edge against the Arctic Ocean, where icy cliffs meet the Polar Sea and snow-dusted roads lead to the edge of Europe. Beyond this point, the journey turns east toward Sweden. The fjords of Norway fade, giving way to gentler shores, forests blending into open fields under calm horizons. Sweden comes into view, a land shaped by lakes, forests, and the slow rhythm of the seasons. In the south, Skåne lies between rolling farmlands and the Baltic shore. Once part of Denmark, its villages still carry traces of both cultures. Malmö, linked to Copenhagen by the Øresund Bridge, showcases modern Scandinavia. Canals weave through the city, glass towers overlook the harbor, and wind turbines rise on the distant horizon. The city is also a center for sustainable urban development, hosting research institutes and initiatives in green architecture and renewable energy. Lund carries an older rhythm, one of knowledge and quiet grace. Its medieval cathedral and cobblestone streets surround one of Northern Europe's oldest universities. Helsingborg, on the Øresund coast, shows a bustling port city framed by historic streets and modern waterfront promenades. The city links Sweden to Denmark across the narrow strait and blends trade, culture, and coastal life. Ystad charms with pastel-colored houses and fishing boats. Its calm harbor became famous as the setting for the Wallander stories. As we move inland, Småland greets us with dense forests, still waters, and red cottages resting by the lakes. This landscape inspired many of Astrid Lindgren's tales and reflects the heart of Sweden's countryside tradition. The Bohuslän region meets the North Sea with granite rocks, scattered islands, and traditional fishing villages. Strømstad lies near the Norwegian border, where ferries glide through narrow channels and wooden houses line the quays, a meeting point of two coasts and cultures. In contrast, Lysekil confronts the open sea, its character shaped by the rugged granite cliffs and striking red rocks of the Stongahuvud Nature Reserve. Meanwhile, the spirit of Bohuslän is perfectly captured in Smogen. Its long wooden pier and rows of colorful houses are reflected on the calm waters, defining the essence of Swedish summer. Ljungskile sits beside a quiet bay, renowned for its seaside resorts. Its calm atmosphere and coastal charm make it a serene retreat between the sea and surrounding green hills. Gothenburg, Sweden's second-largest city, anchors the region with a busy harbor and vibrant urban life. The city blends its industrial history with modern Scandinavian design and culture. Its harbor remains a central hub for trade and maritime activity, while bridges and canals structure the city, linking neighborhoods and public spaces. Modern glass towers and office buildings rise alongside historic warehouses, showcasing Gothenburg's architectural evolution. Parks and waterfront promenades provide leisure areas for residents, highlighting the balance between urban life and natural spaces. Kviberg, once a military barracks area within the city, reflects Gothenburg's layered history and offers a quieter contrast to the bustling downtown. The city's neighborhoods reveal diverse architectural styles, from traditional stone buildings to contemporary Scandinavian designs. The Etren River winds through Halland's countryside, flowing past forests and small villages. Along the coast, Varberg Castle rises beside the harbor, a prominent feature of the town's shoreline. Karlskrona is located on several small islands in the southern Baltic. Founded in the 17th century as a naval base, it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Salto Island, often called Paradise Island, lies nearby, featuring scattered wooden cabins and quiet piers. Sturkö is another small island in the archipelago, adding to the region's maritime charm. On nearby Brandeholm, wooden summer cabins line the waterfront, each marked by a Swedish flag, reflecting the region's maritime traditions. The city of Kalmar rests on the southeastern coast of Sweden, a location of strategic importance throughout its long history. Its most prominent landmark is Kalmar Castle, a magnificent example of Renaissance architecture and one of its finest in Scandinavia, which has stood guard over the Baltic seashore for nearly 800 years. A monumental bridge, stretching over 6 kilometers, connects Kalmar to the island of Öland, serving as a vital lifeline to Sweden's second-largest island. Upon crossing the bridge and setting foot on Öland, one is met with a characteristic landscape of flat limestone plains, dotted with historic windmills and the quiet harbors of fishing villages. Dominating the northwestern coast of Öland, the vast and imposing ruins of Bornholm Castle stand as a stark silhouette against the sky, a testament to its former power as the Northern Europe's largest ruin. Off the coast, Gotland preserves medieval charm. Its capital, Visby, holds stone walls, church ruins, and narrow streets, unchanged since Hanseatic times. Stockholm, Sweden's capital and largest city, stands as the political, cultural, and economic heart of the nation. Surrounded by Lake Mälaren and the Baltic Sea, the city spreads across islands and peninsulas, with waterways weaving between historic districts and modern neighborhoods. In Gamla stan, narrow cobblestone streets wind through the heart of Stockholm's Old Town. Tall, historic buildings line the alleys, their spires and detailed facades marking the skyline and giving the district its medieval character. Modern constructions, including Avicii Arena and office towers, rise alongside historic architecture, while neighborhoods reveal everyday life and seasonal changes. Moving closer to the waterways, Stockholm Harbor showcases ferries and ships navigating the archipelago, connecting the city to the surrounding islands. Djurgården Island, a short distance away, provides a blend of culture and leisure. Parks, museums, and green spaces form a calm retreat within the bustling city. To the north, Uppsala preserves spiritual and academic traditions with its cathedral, university, and burial mounds from ancient kings. In Dalarna, the heart of Sweden beats quietly among endless pine forests and mirror-like lakes. This inland region is a mosaic of deep woods, meadows, and winding rivers. Scattered across the valleys, clusters of red wooden cottages and farmsteads reveal a life shaped by nature and tradition. In villages like Stjärnsund, calm waters reflect rows of painted houses and the legacy of local craftsmanship. Lake Vättern stretches like a vast inland sea, the second largest lake in Sweden and a vital heart of central life. Its clear waters link forests and plains, with peaceful towns and harbors gathered along its shores, including Jönköping, Hjo, Karlsborg, and Motala, each mirroring the serenity and harmony of the Swedish heartland. The town of Örebro, located in the heart of Sweden, blends history with a peaceful urban rhythm. At its center stands Örebro Castle, a 13th century fortress once built for defense, later transformed into a Renaissance residence, overlooking the calm waters of the Svartan River. Beyond the central lakes, forests grow denser as the land rises into Swedish Lapland, a realm of frozen lakes, husky sleds gliding through snow, and auroras painting the night sky. In Kiruna, Sweden's northernmost town, life adapts to the Arctic. The entire city is being relocated to protect the iron-rich ground beneath, while travelers arrive to explore winter sports, witness the midnight sun, and experience the vast, silent tundra. Nearby, Jukkasjärvi hosts the world-famous ice hotel, rebuilt each year from glacial ice and snow. Visitors wander through intricately carved rooms, admire ice sculptures, and sleep in frosty suites under the glow of LED-lit ice chandeliers. The village itself offers a glimpse of Sami culture, traditional northern crafts, and husky dog experiences, making it a unique Arctic destination. Abisko National Park offers some of Europe's clearest skies for northern light viewing. Its Sami villages, such as Jokkmokk or Arvidsjaur, lie amid frozen lakes and snow-laden forests, with traditional wooden houses and local crafts. Here, reindeer herding continues as it has for centuries, preserving a way of life shaped by the Arctic landscape. And so, our journey through Sweden comes to an end. Across the Gulf of Bothnia, the journey reaches Finland, a land of vast forests, shimmering lakes, and quiet strength shaped by the rhythms of its seasons. With over 180,000 lakes covering roughly 10% of its territory, Finland is often referred to as the land of 1,000 lakes. Helsinki holds the title of Europe's northernmost capital. As Finland's most populous city, it is notable not only for its population, but also for its rich history. Founded in 1550, Helsinki began to grow rapidly in the 19th century after being designated the capital by the Russian Empire. Following independence, it developed as Finland's political, economic, and cultural center. Its official languages are Finnish and Swedish. Helsinki Cathedral dominates Senate Square, its neoclassical spires rising prominently and visible from across the harbor. Uspensky Cathedral, with its striking red brick facade and golden domes, reflects the city's Orthodox heritage. The harbor area bustles with ferries and maritime activity, linking the city to the Baltic Sea. Modern glass towers and historic buildings coexist, creating a blend of contemporary life and classical architecture. Suomenlinna, an extensive sea fortress spread across several islands, adds historical depth to Helsinki's harbor. Built in the 18th century to defend against foreign powers, it stands as a testament to the city's strategic and architectural heritage. Winter covers Helsinki in quiet light. Snow brightens the streets and colorful facades. Cars move slowly through the city, and ships rest still along the harbor beside the calm sea. At night, the skyline glows with soft light reflected on the water. From above, Helsinki shines with the calm confidence of a northern capital. Located just 30 to 40 minutes from Helsinki, Nuuksio National Park lies amid forests and lakes that mark the beginning of Finland's wilderness. Its calm waters and rocky hills reflect the quiet, natural beauty that surrounds the southern heart of the country. Further west lies Turku, Finland's oldest city, once the nation's capital and gateway to the archipelago sea. The Aarhus River flows through its center, meeting the open sea at the city's edge, where harbors, quays, and sailboats bring together river life and coastal breeze. On its banks stands Turku Castle, a medieval stronghold that has guarded these waters for more than 7 centuries. Beyond the city, the Turku archipelago extends into the Baltic, over 20,000 islands forming a sailor's paradise of red cottages, pine-covered shores, and quiet horizons. The Åland Islands lie beside the Turku archipelago, stretching westward between Finland and Sweden across the Baltic Sea. Though part of Finland, the islands are politically autonomous, with their own flag, parliament, and postal system. A self-governing region shaped by both Nordic cultures. More than 6,700 islands form this vast archipelago, connected by ferries, bridges, and quiet coastal roads that pass through wooden villages and open meadows. Swedish is the main language, and life moves with the sea, through fishing harbors, sailing routes, and the gentle rhythm of island living. Turning inland from the southern coast, the landscape becomes a labyrinth of lakes and forests, the quiet heart of Finland. Known as the Finnish Lakeland, this vast region is a maze of water and forest, its thousands of lakes reflecting the sky in every direction. Lahti is known as Finland's winter sports capital, home to world-class ski jumps and events that draw visitors from across the north. Gliding across the waters of Lake Saimaa, Savonlinna appears ahead, a town built on islands linked by bridges, where the lake shapes every view and every street. Founded in the 17th century, it became an important trading and cultural center of eastern Finland. At its heart stands Olavinlinna Castle, a 15th century fortress built to guard the frontier, its stone walls rising directly from the lake. The Punkaharju-Esker Ridge forms a narrow forested spine between two lakes. Shaped by the ice ages, it remains one of Finland's most photographed landscapes. In eastern Finland, Karelia is a land of endless forests and still waters shaped by the hills of Koli National Park. The region carries traces of both Finnish and Russian culture, a quiet blend formed through centuries of shared history. At its center stands Joensuu, the cultural heart of Karelia, built along the calm flow of the Pielisjoki River. The cathedral and wooden riverside streets reflect the spirit of this eastern frontier, peaceful, modest, and deeply connected to nature. Further north lies Kuopio, standing on the shores of Lake Kallavesi and surrounded by a maze of islands and waterways. From the Puijo Tower, views stretch over endless forest and water, the true image of Finland's lake country. Tampere, set between the two Great Lakes, Näsijärvi and Pyhäjärvi, grew from a factory town into one of Finland's most creative cities. The old red brick mills along the Tamerkoski Rapids now house museums, studios, and cafes, reminders of how the city turned its industrial past into a modern identity. In central Finland, the city of Jyväskylä reflects the harmony between Finnish design and the surrounding nature. The influence of Alvar Aalto is visible throughout, in the use of wood, light, and open space that defines the city's character. Forests and lakes encircle Jyväskylä, where everyday life moves at the quiet rhythm of the landscape. On Finland's western coast stands Vasa, a city of wide horizons and salt air, where the Gulf of Bothnia shapes daily life. From its shores, the Ribe Bridge reaches out across the Kvarken archipelago, linking the mainland to thousands of rocky islets that drift toward the Swedish horizon. It is Finland's longest bridge, built as both a lifeline for the islands and a landmark of this northern shore. The Kvarken archipelago, listed by UNESCO, tells the story of a landscape still changing after the Ice Age. Across the frozen Gulf of Bothnia, cracks open through the ice as the sea breathes beneath, a quiet reminder of movement, even in the heart of winter. The journey turns toward the true north, where forests rise dense and green, breathing the last warmth of summer. Settlements grow smaller here, scattered among lakes and rivers, where time seems to move at nature's pace. Wooden cottages, quiet harbors, and winding roads mirror a life built around silence and light. Then the season turns. The green fades to white, and the land opens into wide plains of snow and frozen rivers. In the eastern reaches of northern Finland lies Kuusamo, a vast region of forests, rivers, and wildlife. Here, nature still feels untamed. Brown bears roam the woods, and the Ulanka River winds through deep gorges and pine-covered hills. On these high plateaus rises Ruka Ski Resort, where Finland's wilderness meets its winter spirit. Known for its long ski season and northern lights, Ruka brings warmth and color to the Arctic night, a gateway between silent forests and the snowbound north beyond. Lapland marks Finland's true north, a realm of deep forests and endless snow. Here begins the Arctic dream, the stillness of nature, the dance of northern lights, and the feeling of standing at the edge of the world. In the city of Rovaniemi, the Arctic Circle crosses the landscape like an invisible border, marking the beginning of the true north. Known worldwide as the home of Santa Claus, Rovaniemi combines festive tradition with Arctic culture. At the Santa Claus Village, visitors meet reindeer herders, cross the Arctic Circle, and experience Finland's Christmas spirit brought to life through winter markets, wooden lodges, and northern light celebrations. Beyond Rovaniemi, the landscape turns wilder. Pine forests rise along gentle fells, and reindeer paths cross the snow in quiet patterns. Within this vast wilderness lies Ilastuntri National Park, one of Finland's oldest protected areas. Nearby, Levi stands as one of Finland's most popular ski resorts, a lively hub surrounded by open fells and wide snowy slopes. The town has hotels, restaurants, and a small airport that connects it to the rest of Finland throughout winter. Frozen lakes and snow-covered fells define Pyhäluosto. In Luosto, a small town surrounded by pine forests, wooden cabins and ski lodges stand quiet under the northern sky. Inari lies in the far north of Finland. Forests give way to open tundra, and the lakes remain frozen through the long winter. Along Lake Inari, small villages and Sami communities live in balance with the wilderness. Tourism centers like Sariselka and Inari village offer a calm glimpse into life at the edge of the Arctic. From here, our journey across Finland reaches its northern edge, and the story of the Nordic mainland gives way to the islands beyond. The first stop in the northern islands of our Nordic documentary is Svalbard, a frozen archipelago standing at the edge of the world. Life in Svalbard moves with the rhythm of the Arctic itself, slow, quiet, and enduring. A few thousand people call this frozen land home, carrying on their days between light and darkness, work and wonder. Longyearbyen is the main settlement of Svalbard, the center of these northern islands. Once founded as a coal mining town in the early 1900s, it has grown into the heart of Arctic life, where scientists, workers, and travelers share the same frozen frontier. Svalbard is also home to the Global Seed Vault, a secure underground vault that preserves millions of seeds from around the world. Beyond the town, the land turns to pure ice. Vast glaciers descend toward the sea, breaking apart with a deep echo as they meet the Arctic Ocean. Traces of human history still remain in this frozen world. Pyramiden was built by the Soviet Union in 1927 as a mining town and later abandoned in 1998 when the mine closed, leaving behind a silent time capsule of Arctic history. Barentsburg remains inhabited, home to a small Russian and Ukrainian community. Around 400 people live here today, maintaining a rare piece of living Soviet heritage on Norwegian soil. Ny-Ålesund is the world's northernmost research town, operated year-round by scientists from more than 10 countries. It serves as a global center for Arctic research, focused on climate, glaciers, and the atmosphere. The rest of Svalbard belongs entirely to the wilderness. Endless snowfields, frozen fjords, and migrating birds define the rhythm of life here. Among its wildlife, the polar bear remains the undisputed symbol of the Arctic. Around 3,000 roam the archipelago, mostly along the northern and the eastern coasts, hunting seals on the drifting ice. In some settled areas, you may even come across warning signs marking their presence. The Svalbard reindeer is the northernmost of its kind, short, sturdy, and perfectly adapted to the frozen tundra. It often wanders close to Longyearbyen, grazing calmly through the snow. Today, Svalbard attracts explorers and travelers seeking the raw essence of the Arctic. Days pass in bright light across open snowfields, and the calm of the far north settles over everything. Svalbard stands as Norway's northern frontier, silent and unyielding, life enduring against the cold at the top of the world. Though Norse explorers first sighted these shores, it was the Viking Flaki Vilgerdarson who truly etched its name in history. Sailing into the unknown, he followed the northern winds to what he believed was the edge of the world. This is a place where land and legend fuse, where winds carve stories into stone, and the sea thunders like a gate to another realm. On the black sands of Stocksness, beneath the brooding shadow of Vestrahorn, a wooden Viking village stands as a ghostly silhouette. Built for film and surrendered to the ocean, it persists as a half-remembered dream. An eternal wind claims the empty village, where the only sounds are the Atlantic's roar and the silence of the mountain. Here, The modern world settles softly into the ancient landscape. Reykjavik, the world's northernmost capital, cradles the sea under a vast, open sky. The air is sharp and clear. Nearly all its heating and electricity comes from geothermal and hydroelectric sources, making it one of the world's greenest capitals. Hallgrímskirkja's monumental concrete frame dominates the skyline. Its expressionist design a direct homage to the basalt columns formed by Iceland's cooling lava. Soaring to 74 meters, it is the country's second tallest structure and offers a panoramic view from its tower that stretches from the city to the mountains. Down by the water, Harpa Concert Hall's steel and glass facade reflects the harbor and sky. Its distinctive honeycomb design, made of over 1,000 geometric panels, changes appearance with every shift in the Arctic light. From Reykjavik's Old Harbor, a 15-minute boat tour reaches the puffin colonies on Lundi and Akurey Islands in Faxaflói Bay. This spot offers the most accessible view of the birds, while the largest nesting populations are found on the remote cliffs of the West Fjords and the East Fjords. Atlantic puffins, easily identified by their brightly colored beaks, are expert divers and swimmers, using their wings to fly underwater in pursuit of fish. They return to these specific coastal cliffs only to nest between late April and early August, spending the rest of their lives entirely at sea. A short drive from the city's colorful rooftops, the landscape fractures into the jagged lava fields of the Reykjanes Peninsula. Here, the dark ridges of the Fagradalsfjall volcanic system rise from the earth, a raw and living reminder that this land is forged not only by ice, but by the restless fire beneath it. In this stark expanse, the Blue Lagoon emits a soft, geothermal glow, a warm, mineral-rich oasis where the Earth's inner fire defies the North Atlantic chill. Iceland breathes beneath your feet. Nowhere is this palpable energy more felt than in the Golden Circle. Brúarfoss cuts through a narrow gorge in a ribbon of brilliant blue, a sudden flash of light against the dark volcanic stone. At Thingvellir, the Earth splits open as the North American and Eurasian plates drift apart. This dramatic landscape is both a geological frontier and the birthplace of Iceland's first parliament. Waterfalls thread through ancient rock, and every fissure carries the weight of history written into the ground itself. In the crystal depths of Silfra, divers hover between tectonic plates, suspended in water so clear it offers visibility of more than 100 meters. Fed by glacial melt filtered through volcanic rock, the fissure contains some of the purest water on Earth. Here, you can literally swim between continents. The ground at Geirangerfjord trembles softly, warning of what's to come. A heartbeat later, a jet of boiling water bursts upward from a deep blue eye in the earth, cutting through the cold air. Gullfoss plunges more than 30 meters in two powerful cascades, driving the Vita River into the depths of a volcanic gorge. Venturing into the interior, the highlands expose a realm forged by fire, where gravel roads dissolve into the void. Hyfoss drops from the cliff's edge like a silver blade, slicing cleanly through the dark volcanic rock below. Ljotipaller Lake, formed inside a volcanic crater, lies in a valley surrounded by winding rivers. Fire once shaped the land, and now the still water completes the silence it left behind. In Landmannalager, geothermal streams cut through rhyolite slopes, their red, yellow, and green tones born from ancient eruptions. The colored rhyolite hills of Landmannalager slowly give way to the steaming, sulfur-stained peaks of Geirangerfjord. Here, the earth hisses, and the snow is often tinted yellow. Vatnajökull National Park holds Iceland's largest glacier and most of its ice. The frozen mass covers nearly a tenth of the island and shapes the rivers, valleys, and lagoons of the southeast. At the shore, Diamond Beach glitters as shards of ice rest on black volcanic sand, carried here by the tide from Jökulsárlón Lagoon. In the distance, Vatnajökull fills the horizon, a vast sheet of ancient ice moving slowly across the land. Beyond the lagoon, Múlaglufur Canyon sits in the southeast highlands, a dramatic landscape of sharp ridges and narrow waterfalls hidden in the mist. The southern coast is shaped by constant movement of water and wind. Seljalandsfoss falls in a thin, bright curtain, with a narrow path winding behind it. It is one of Iceland's most visited waterfalls, and the only major cascade that can be walked behind. Skagafoss drops in a single powerful surge, its mist often catching the sunlight. At 60 meters tall, it stands among the largest waterfalls in the country and marks the old coastline of southern Iceland. Thorsmörk is a sheltered world of moss-clad valleys and braided rivers, named after Thor, the Norse god of thunder. At Fjords, a narrow river winds through a canyon lined with moss-covered walls that rise like green ramparts. Formed during the last ice age, its sharp curves and high cliffs make it one of Iceland's most striking natural formations. Further west, Reynisfjara Black Sand Beach sits at the foot of steep cliffs, its volcanic sand carved by centuries of Atlantic waves. The Reynisdrangar Sea stacks rise just offshore, while basalt columns line the cliffside. This coastline is famous for its black sands and powerful surf, drawing travelers from around the world. The north has a colder, quieter beauty. Akureyri, Iceland's second largest town, lies by Eyjafjörður, the country's longest fjord. It has a population of around 20,000 and was founded in the late 18th century as a trading post, later growing into the main urban center of northern Iceland. Godafoss is known as the Waterfall of the Gods, named after the moment Iceland converted to Christianity in the year 1000. Its wide curve and steady flow make it one of the most iconic waterfalls in the north. Aldeyjarfoss, another of the north's iconic waterfalls, pours its glacial water into a stark basin of black basalt columns, a perfect, powerful contrast of white water against dark stone. The Jökulsá River, Iceland's second longest, builds its force before plunging into Dettifoss, the most powerful waterfall in Europe. Its roar can be felt through the ground long before it's seen. The sheer scale of Aspergi Canyon is humbling. This monumental horseshoe-shaped rift is central to Icelandic folklore, believed to be the hoofprint of Odin's mythical steed. On the coast, Húsavík overlooks Skjálfandi Bay. This small harbor town is considered the whale-watching capital of Iceland, with rich marine life and regular sightings during the summer season. Around Lake Mývatn, geothermal fields spread across the landscape, and steam rises from cracks in the earth. The air carries the smell of sulfur, and the ground is warm underfoot. At Verrier, bubbling mud pots and sulfur vents cover the hillsides, their yellow and white tones marking one of the most active geothermal areas in the north. Surrounded by basalt columns, Studlagill Canyon stands out with its turquoise glacial river cutting through the valley. Formed thousands of years ago by volcanic eruptions and glacial floods, it carries an otherworldly atmosphere that reflects Iceland's raw geological past. Hvítserkur means white shirt in Icelandic, named for the white streaks left by nesting seabirds on its dark basalt surface. This 15-meter sea stack stands just off the Vatnsnes Peninsula and is another well-known coastal landmark in the north. The West Fjords guard the island's most ancient solitude. Sheer cliffs plunge into deep, silent fjords, where the only sound is wind and water. Dynjandi, the crown of the West Fjords and its largest, most majestic waterfall, descends the mountainside in a series of tiered steps. Lysefjord clings to the edge of the sea, a quiet harbor held between towering peaks and endless stillness. Nearby, the small fishing village of Suðureyri follows the same steady rhythm of life shaped by wind and water. To the west, the colossal sea cliffs of Bjerge mark the continent's final edge. These towering cliffs are home to countless seabirds, puffins, razorbills, and guillemots, clinging to the rock faces above the crashing Atlantic. Gleimur, once regarded as Iceland's tallest waterfall before the discovery of the glacial Morsarfoss, rises 196 meters within a narrow canyon at the end of the Hvalfjarðarfjord, surrounded by steep, moss-covered cliffs. Its waters plunge into the depths below, a secluded marvel of the Western Highlands. The twin cascades of Hraunfossar and Barnafoss perform a quiet miracle, glacier water seeping directly from the black veins of lava. The Snæfellsnes Peninsula is Iceland in miniature, a harmony of volcano, glacier, and sea. The glacier-capped Snæfellsjökull stands sentinel over the land, guarding the horizon where light meets mist. Along the coast at Arnarstapi and Helnar, the Atlantic has carved basalt into arches and caves, shaping a coastline of myth and motion. Kirkjufell rises in graceful symmetry above the fjord, its form mirrored perfectly in the calm water, a landmark that captures the quiet harmony of Iceland's western coast. Crossing the fjord between ancient cliffs, the Kolgrafafjordur Bridge stands as a quiet mark of the modern age, a gentle touch upon an island shaped by nature and time. Iceland, a land born of fire sculpted by ice, a place where rivers carve canyons, Glaciers write history, and silence speaks. The edge of the world, and the beginning of another. Rising from the cold waters of the North Atlantic, the Faroe Islands stand between Norway and Iceland, a scattered archipelago of cliffs, mist, and sea. Here, the ocean rules every hour, and the wind carries the voices of both continents. Tórshavn, one of the world's smallest capitals, rests quietly along the shore. Its red and black wooden houses gathered around the old harbor. In Tinganes, turf-roofed buildings lean into the wind, their walls echoing centuries of trade, storm, and seafaring life. Across the sea, Vágar Island reveals the most iconic scenes of the Faroes. At Gásadalur, the Múlafossur waterfall drops straight from the green cliffs into the Atlantic, a perfect union of land and sea. Nearby lies Leidisvatn, also known as Sørvágsvatn, a lake perched high above the ocean, its surface creating the famous illusion of floating above the sea. From the village overlooking the cliffs, the lake and ocean seem to meet in quiet harmony. Out in the Atlantic, Mykinis rises from the fog, an island of cliffs and wind, where seabirds fill the air above the green slopes. The village of Bur sits along the western coast of Vágar, a cluster of old wooden houses overlooking the open sea. From its hillside, the view unfolds toward the islets of Tindhólmur and Drangarnir, sharp peaks rising from the water like stone gates to the Atlantic. In the heart of the islands, small villages rest between green slopes and quiet bays, their turf roofs blending with the hills around them. In the valley of Saxon, a black sand lagoon runs toward the open sea, below cliffs traced with thin waterfalls. Gjögöv sits on the northern edge of Eysturoy, built around a natural sea gorge that shelters small boats from the open Atlantic. Roads winding along the cliffs lead to Tjørnavik, a hidden gem on the northern coast. The black sands of the village merge with the open sea, and across the horizon, the sea stacks Riesen, and Kellingen rise sharply from the waves. Near Tjørnavik, the Fossa waterfall tumbles down from the high cliffs in twin streams before meeting the sea, the tallest waterfall in the Faroe Islands. The land grows ever wilder. A winding road and tunnel lead to the lonely Kallur lighthouse, perched high above the sea, its cliffs vanishing into the fog below. Above the cliffs, narrow trails climb toward the heights, where hikers look down over Klaksvik, the town resting quietly between the fjords and the open sea. Vidareidi, the northernmost village of the Faroes, faces the open Arctic with calm resilience. A quiet settlement surrounded by sea cliffs and endless wind. As the cliffs and valleys fall behind, it's hard to leave the Faroes without mentioning the life that still defines them. Herding has shaped these islands since the 9th century, when Viking settlers relied on their animals to survive the harsh winds and poor soil. Even the name Faroe comes from Old Norse, Faroeyjar, meaning sheep islands. Today, Flocks still wander the hills, a living thread between the old ways and the wild land that endures. Beyond the Faroe Islands, the sea opens toward Greenland, a vast glacial world of ice, rock, and silent ocean. This is the edge of the White Continent, a land that breathes in slow, frozen rhythms. First settled by Norse explorers around the 10th century, Greenland later came under Danish rule. Though most of its land lies within the Arctic Circle, its spirit stands between two worlds: Nordic heritage and Inuit tradition. Kangerlussuaq sits inland, where the gravel plains meet the edge of Greenland's great ice sheet, and the Russell Glacier marks the beginning of endless white. As the journey moves north along the coast, small settlements fade into the vastness, until the modern outline of Nuuk appears, the world's northernmost capital. With a population of about 19,000, Nuuk rises at the meeting point of mountains and icy fjords on Greenland's southwest coast. Founded in 1728, it is one of the oldest Arctic settlements, where daily life endures amid cold seas and distant horizons. Farther north, along Greenland's western coast, lies the town of Ilulissat, a small Arctic settlement surrounded by ice and sea. Colorful houses cling to the rocky slopes above the harbor, while fishing boats move quietly through the frozen waters. Life here moves at the edge of the wilderness, shaped by cold winds and the rhythm of drifting ice. Just beyond the town begins the Ilulissat Ice Fjord, a vast channel carved by the Cermak-Kujalik Glacier, one of the fastest-moving glaciers on Earth and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Immense blocks of ice break away from the glacier and fall into the Arctic waters of Disco Bay, sending ripples across the still sea. Beyond the last settlements, the world falls silent. Across the tundra and along the melting edges of the glaciers, traces of life move through the snow and sea, quiet, patient, and enduring. For centuries, sled dogs, mostly Siberian Huskies, have been vital to survival in Greenland, used for hunting, travel, and carrying supplies across the ice. Today, dog sledding remains both a traditional way of life and a national sport, while modern snowmobiles have become a symbol of the Arctic's changing rhythm. The midnight sun hovers above the horizon as icebergs drift through calm Arctic seas. Here, at the far edge of the north, the journey ends in silence and light.